as a child, you would see a figure move around in the windows. You would hear scream or howl outside, and you would hear all your dogs getting torn apart outside. We'd go outside and tend our dogs, and see the wounds, and we would see the dogs go, and whatever would come around would be smacking the side of my great-grandmother's trailer, or if the windows open, it's a full moon night, and you would see a figure. They like to watch, they like to peek in the window, so we would see that on a regular basis, and I've seen that as well. My great-grandmother's looking out the window, and at full moon, you would really see them, and everything from they trying to get in, but nearly breaking the door down, and even reaching in through the windows, trying to skip us kids out.
Don has been telling us about, all the stuff that's going on up at the Navajo Nation. So we planned a trip, a 10-day, actually 11-day trip up there, and to kind of see what was going on. So I made a list of things. The first thing was witnesses. We went to the swap meet, I think the first day we were up there, and talked to people. And it wasn't real busy, but I know Don went to one booth where he had 8 witnesses in that one alone. And Adam and I walked around and we talked to a number of people, and it seemed like just about everybody up there has seen one of the creatures one or more times.
Got a breath hiking up here.
Oh.
That's exactly what we're looking for right there.
Oh, that's great. Oh, man.
All those other pictures I have of animals hanging in trees,
Yeah.
deer hung up by their antlers.
Yep.
Exactly what we're looking for. Oh, that's awesome. There's a big buck, too. Wow. 4 points. Very, very, very cool. That's over 6 feet off the ground.
This is like off the beaten path, too. It's not like, this ain't no Halloween decoration,
No. See, he looked for us in a night pools, roll out people. See, part of the skull's been chewed off.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of hair still on it. It's old. I mean, it's probably hung here for a year, maybe.
Wow.
Sometimes they're higher than this too. The one from Upper New York.
Uh-huh.
That deer was hung exactly the same way, but the whole body was there, but it was hung 11 feet up.
Oh, wow.
But you see with this one there, that's like the ideal spot where the antlers would hook into the tree and the bait would hold it.
Yeah. Perfect.
He's doing the right thing. Make these patterns, circling area.
Oh, circling.
Exactly, yep.
Got it.
Well, I've got pictures of this kind of thing. That's the first time we've come across it ourselves, this. Boy, the Sasquatch is hung on his ears in the tree, and they're hanging just like that by the antlers. Usually it's higher, but that's over 6 feet off the ground.
In 1963, Sportsfield magazine published an article titled Long Hunter Alaskan Style. It was about 2 trappers in Alaska in the 1940s. On one of their trips, a group of Dena Indians approached them and told them there was a creature in the area called Gilyuk. And Gilyuk was the shaggy giant who ate men, and to prove it was there, they took him to a spot to show him its mark, which was a mangled birch sapling.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Twisted, too.
Twisted, yep. See that?
Oh, man.
In 1991, I found a very similar marking in southwest Washington. I took pictures of it and showed it to a friend of mine who was a Klamath Indian. He chuckled and he said, "Oh, you finally found that." And I said, "What do you mean I finally found that?" He stated that that was the creature's territorial markings. So the same thing was told to me by a number of friends from other tribes around Western America.
See what's important about that one, though? Yeah. Pointing right down at that skull.
What?
The
Does it point to? Oh yeah. Well, he's gonna walk straight to it, right?
That was a good find.
There we go.
That is exactly the kind of thing we're looking for there. That tree up there too, that's a marking.
Because we're not supposed to take a life. So every life is very, very sacred. And when we take a life of a deer, you know, it's just like taking the life of almost like a human sometimes. You know, with they are our four-legged brothers. We're the two-legged brothers. So, you know, we would leave that behind, you know, an offering to.
You were saying sometimes too that they'll put the skull on a fence post where it's displayed prominently. And the one we found, when you found, was hidden. It was facing the forest, and it was in a spot where you wouldn't easily see it. It was the opposite of what Navajo people would do.
Yeah, I found some.
Nice. Something awesome.
Guys. Good job.
Team. Oh, we might be in.
Just kind of poke along and snoop around and you never know what you're going to see.
Yeah. This general area here, the Chuska Mountains area, this is the well-known top spots for Sasquatch encounters. You know, just north of here, there's a forbidden zone. There's still active volcano. There's lava tunnels, lava tubes, that connect underground to Rock Point, Arizona, and it goes underground to Halchita, Utah, where I come from. It goes all the way across. There's tunnels underneath us. So there's things, they live in these tunnels, they come out at night, especially at night. That's what the culture stories tell us. These things traverse and move here. Now, especially the full moon, they hunt. They love to hunt with full moon. And they tell us don't whistle because these things will come out and take you.
What's the purpose of them taking the? Like why are the Sasquatch taking these people?
Food. They consume us. They're the apex predator. They like to drain our blood. You know, as soon as they take somebody, they're never heard from again at all. When they come, they're always screaming usually, but nowadays, I think they like to just show up more often. But the screaming, the howling, people still do hear that. On my side, we hear that more. We hear the screaming and yelling more than finding the tracks. But there's also tracks there as well. It's not many people live on this Navajo Nation. Very secluded in all these lands. So, you know, things can just roam around these washes, these ditches, roam around free.
You said it was nighttime when they saw this?
Evening time.
That makes me wonder how close they were to the roads over here.
So, the Dene people, the Navajo people, it's a very taboo subject and a very touchy subject on this issue. The matter issue is Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Yeito. So, you know, when you would see these things, people would get sick and, you know, they would have all kinds of paranormal events that would tie to this man, to this creature. They would see medicine men and, you know, they would have numerous ceremonies done where they would say, don't take a picture of him, don't talk about him because, you know, he knows when you talk about him, he knows when you take a picture of his foot tracks. You know, he doesn't like you when you take a picture of him, anything that belongs to him. So the medicine men say that, the medicine men believe that he's both spirit and physical. And a lot of us here, you know, my personal belief that he is a physical creature, but, you know, everyone believes that it's a very bad subject to go pursue him because it could affect your family, it could affect your mind, it can affect your conscience, your psyche. It'll drive you crazy. And, you know, that's the trend that everyone seems to believe these days. But for me, the Sasquatch is a physical creature, that's been visiting us since the beginning of time, beginning of man walking this earth. These things been here with us, amongst us. They're the children of the night. We're the children of the day for sure.
This is a beautiful valley. Wow, little gorge we got going on here.
Said they live up here too. And then that other lady said the guy lives down here. Same thing, the canyons, they take all these canyons.
Yeah, the road's too rough. They take the canyons.
Then the young lady said you can ask every one of these families. These guys have encounters. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
The loop howler.
Oh, yeah.
You had information that was about a 2-hour drive away where there was a scream. In fact, it was one of those canyons, remember?
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't really give any area. They just said all around. It goes in circles.
All around, goes in circles.
I know it does that in El Chita, my hometown.
Yeah.
Stays in the dark.
There's another Jeep.
He said, he had a coworker. He was from Rock Point, Arizona. He was making his way from the Central Agency and on down towards the Hopi side because he was meeting him from Pidyon. He said there were 6 of them total all meeting up, and when he got past the Hopi Cultural Center, he said that it was 4 in the morning. He was driving, and he noticed something coming up, approaching on the side of the road. There was a stop sign there. This thing got to that stop sign, it froze, it stood up straight. He said it was taller than the stop sign. And he slowed down to get a good look at this thing. And as he passed by, he said this thing looked like a man, full of hair. And at least he told me Navajo. After he passed, he woke up the boys. He said, "Hey, how dare you guys sleep on me? I passed something and I seen something so horrible. You guys don't even believe what I seen." He said that in Navajo. Then he said another time, he was on his way to work from Kenya. So 3 in the morning, there's no one around at all. He was just enjoying himself and his cruise to work. Same thing again. There's something this time on his right side coming up. He said it was coming up very fast, and so it stopped by another at that same stop sign. He said the same thing, and stood up tall. He drove right by slow, and he got a good look at it. The same thing, it looked like a man, but not a man, bigger than a man, hairy man.
Wow.
Yeah. He just kept going. I think I would too. It's coming from the man that goes back and forth on these roads for, I believe he said 30 years.
So we're tired. We get back about 1:30 in the morning. We were back at the hotel, and there's a mesa across the highway over here. And we were back 8 minutes. I'm ready for bed. I'm upstairs ready for bed, and I get a text from you. Come outside. And it's cold. So I'm throwing some clothes on. I hear this screaming going on over by that mesa. And you guys have already been listening to this for a while. We've been back 8 minutes at the hotel after driving 2 hours one way to get screams. And they're right here.
I've seen the wolf tracks up there. It's not a wolf. Okay, it's not sound. Random. I was telling you, they're up there. Yeah. That sounds close.
Yeah, these guys surprise you. I mean, and I'm sure on the recording it's not as impressive as it was standing here, listening to these screams. And then didn't you say there was even somebody honking their horn trying to get it to shut up or whatever?
Yeah, the locals were revving their engine. It's a huge engine, so.
Which is an indicator that this happens frequently.
Yeah, and from my time wandering around the swap meet, and sure enough, they do come down from this ridge and scream, and they even go to the zoo and visit the animals. Yeah. And this ridge is connected to Twin Buttes, where those boys were chased into the canyon. So it's just right over here.
Yeah.
So these vocalizations, this is the way, by verifying them and studying them and mapping the locations of these verified encounters, this is how we're going to learn something about this species more than we have ever known before. So that is what the Wolf Project is all about. Now have a listen to this. Amazing, right? That is a gray wolf. Now, these vocalizations over here on the left, they were recorded in Window Rock, Arizona, about 1,000 feet from the Navajo Nation Zoo that happens to have a couple of gray wolves there. But this vocalization, have a listen to it. Whatever it is, it ain't no gray wolf. Here we go. But now here's the kind of creepy thing. Gray wolves tend to like to end their howls with this little kind of tremolo, tricky ending here. Listen. Ooh, whatever this thing is, mimic that. So there is something that comes up and sits by that zoo up on big rocks up on top overlooking the zoo that mimics those gray wolves. So in this video, I'm going to show you how whatever these vocalizations are over on the left, they could not possibly be a gray wolf or any kind of wolf. They could not be coyotes. They could not be dogs, could not be anything a human could do or any other known species. So let's go check it out. Okay, so here we go. Here are the two main things I want you to see. Wolf howls, two wolves howling. And notice that you can hear these wolves going up and down in pitch the entire time. And we can see that with our eyes. We see they'll go from 400 hertz up to 600 hertz and then down and up and down and up and down. Here is an entirely different recording of a wolf. Up and down, all over the place. And now look at these. Here are some more Mexican gray wolf howls. And you can see every one of them varies wildly in pitch. Now have a look at the two Window Rock mystery howls over here on the left versus a gray wolf howl on the far right. Use your eyes. You can see that the two different vocalizations don't look a thing in the world alike. That the gray wolf, again, is up and down all over the place in pitch. And look at these things. Listen to this. You can hear with your ear that it didn't change in pitch hardly at all. It just hit one note, and here it goes up slightly. Then it hops up to a higher pitch, hops back down, and then ends with that gray wolf tremolo sign-off. And now let's look at the second vocalization, which is even more incredible. Hops to 3 notes, then starts walking it back down. And I think we've got another howler starting right there. And then it has the gray wolf sign off. To me, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but these look and sound like a cross between, say, a flute and some species that howls. Now, I know some of you down in the comments, you're going to be like, oh, come on, dude. I was raised by gray wolves. I can tell a gray wolf a mile away. Blah, 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 blah. See, that's not proof. That's just your opinion. We are looking at visual evidence here, just as if we were looking at fingerprints and comparing them. So unless you have some sort of visual evidence that proves that these are gray wolves, then you really have nothing. And don't forget, the two mystery howls over here were recorded from 1,000 feet away or better. So when I said this sounded like a cross between some sort of flute and an animal that howls, that would have to be one incredibly loud flute-type sound to travel that distance. So maybe it's a species that can just do that, has just a big, giant vocal apparatus that can make a big, loud, booming flute-type sound. Combined with gray wolf-type vocalizations. It's just incredible.
There's this area not too far from here called Crystal, New Mexico. They made the newspaper. A woman, she had a corral full of goats. This thing got into the corral and slaughtered every one of them goats. And the only thing they found was the huge giant foot tracks. They knew it was all Bigfoot. And then he comes around, he takes everyone's livestock, the sheep, the goat, the ram. They won't find the body parts all in one area. They'll find them spread across different ridgy tops, different areas. The blood drain, either blood everywhere, no body parts, just straight slaughter. And there's also people, that like to jog, stay active. These things will come out and follow and watch and follow that person all the way to their vehicle.
People think they're benign, and some are. Many times others they're not.
That close.
2 dead horses.
Yeah.
That one was not there yesterday.
Join us next time on Bigfoot Navajo Nation as we continue discovering evidence and come across a kill zone